Pierre-Luc Dubois, his name is out in the rumor mill. A lot of people connecting it to the Montreal Canadiens. There was a report going around from The Athletic that he might have actually been in Montreal during the NHL draft in anticipation that he would get traded to the Montreal Canadiens. So let's say Kent Hughes is actually interested in bringing in Pierre-Luc Dubois. What do you guys think is a reasonable asking price for the Jets and for the Canadiens, obviously, to make a deal work? I'm asking you all to be GMs for a moment. Rick, what do you think works?
Well, let's face it, lots of rumors about it and about him. You know, he's got 2 years left at $5 million. I don't know. In the perfect world, yeah, I would say, yeah, let's find a way to get this guy part of the organization. But you still got to look at how much money is it going to take to get this guy signed. And, you know, they're not in a real big or a good position to have lots of money available. So the only way that it's going to obviously happen is they've got to unload some of their higher end players and trade off some salary to allow them to assign a guy like this. So I think it's a real difficult situation for trying to acquire this guy unless they're really ready to move some of their big name players, which I'm not sure that they want to do.
No, I don't understand why there's so much talk about it right this moment, because it feels like the Canadiens just don't have any urgency here. They don't want to be great next year, right? Like, they don't want necessarily to bring in Pierre-Luc Dubois and have, you know, a great 1-2-3 at center that can push them up in the division and push them out of the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, right? They would like to have progress in their game, not be as bad as last year, but likely finish in the bottom 5 and get a lottery pick, right? So it doesn't make sense from that perspective. It doesn't make sense for the Jets to rush it either, because they're in a position of power where they can, you know, just keep him for his prime years there for the next couple of years until he's an unrestricted free agent. Kent Hughes can just wait this out and sign Pierre-Luc Dubois as an unrestricted free agent as the Canadiens are entering their competitive window. So, I mean, maybe there's an advantage in having him in the organization longer and like having him be used to everything, but I don't see it as something that the Canadiens need to do right now, and especially not spend expensive futures. Like, if they're looking at a 2023 first round pick, no, it ain't happening. So I don't think
the Canadiens should hold on to those picks.
Yeah, I think there's definitely smoke where there's fire. I mean, you've seen his agent talk about how he wants to be on the Montreal Canadiens, but Kent Hughes can just sit on his hands for now and wait for it to happen.
Yeah, his agent saying he wants to play in Montreal. That's how all this started off, right? But the Canes have no cap room. They thought to sign Kirby Dach at this point. Are they going to Josh Anderson and Dvorak go to Winnipeg in a deal to clear up cap space? Does Winnipeg want that? Do the Canes want it? Like, it's just, and you're right. Hughes has to, no rush. 2 years from now, he's an unrestricted free agent. He's already said he wants to play in Montreal. You can just sit back and get him in 2 years from now for nothing. So he's also, the agents put Winnipeg in a tough spot too, because if they're trying to trade him somewhere else and people know that he wants to go to Montreal as an unrestricted free agent, and he's probably not going to re-sign with whatever team you trade him to, that makes it more difficult. So he's really put that Winnipeg team in a tough bind. And man, what a messy situation in Winnipeg, from Paul Maurice leaving last season to all this talk about players in the room not getting along. It just seems like it's a real ugly atmosphere. And it's Winnipeg. It's not at the top of anybody's list of where they want to play in the NHL. So for Kent Hughes, I mean, he's been patient with Jeff Petrie. I imagine he'll be patient with this. There's no rush here, right? Canes aren't going to be Stanley Cup contenders next season. It would be unlikely they'll even make the playoffs. So there's no rush. Like 2 years from now, Pierre-Luc Dubois could be a really nice fit on this hockey team. And plus, after next season, Hughes has a lot of money going off the salary cap. So maybe it's a trade he can make next summer when he's in a better position salary cap-wise to make a move.
Well, and the other thing is, to add complications to this question, if Pierre-Luc Dubois starts doing in Winnipeg what he was doing in Columbus when he asked for a trade, do you want him? Because I've never seen a player pull the stuff that he did on the ice. Trying to get out of Columbus.
And that's
he literally took a shift off in the middle of the game.
He's a great player. He's a great player, but that kind of attitude, a guy who wants to be traded twice in 2 years, I have no problem with NHL players trying to control their destiny. I think that's good for the game, but the attitude issues leaking onto the ice, I think, is a bit of a red flag for me.
Yeah,
Rick, I want to know Rick's opinion on this, because Absolutely. I want to know Rick's opinion on this because him having coached, seeing someone like Pierre-Luc Dubois from a distance do what he did in Columbus. For those who don't remember, he literally just one of his last game with the Blue Jackets, I think, just had this horrible shift where he really just did not put any effort in whatsoever. You knew he checked out and he wanted out and he wanted to be out of Columbus. Rick, I'd love to know how you felt about that situation and your view of Pierre-Luc Dubois is since. And if you realized the team that you were coaching wanted him, how would that make you feel?
I'm really concerned. Red flag there. I mean, you get an individual like that that's showing that kind of act is really tough to accept. And I mean, Stu, you touched on before about the Winnipeg Jets organization. They've got this guy now that is publicly or rumors that he wants to go somewhere. What does that say about the Winnipeg Jets and, having the guy on contract with somebody that maybe isn't that real keen on staying as part of the Winnipeg Jets? You don't want to have a guy like that in your dressing room. You don't want to have any type of negativity. And he has shown previously with Columbus that he is a little bit of a special bird. And this kind of act, you have to handle, with some type of authority saying, we can look the other way, let it go, or we go, not sure if I want to have that scenario in my organization with the rest of the team seeing and feeling and sensing that this is not the kind of guy we want to have around and go to war with. So interesting times ahead, but 2 more years under contract. He's already piping up saying that he not necessarily wants to sign in Winnipeg. Bad situation for the Winnipeg Jets.
We have to wait and see when it comes to Pierre-Luc Dubois. I love how this segment started as, hey, what's a good trade offer that would work for the Canadiens to get Dubois, and is now turned into, does he have character concerns? Is this someone the Canadiens actually would want? I'm glad we're able to have discussions like that here on Hockey Inside Out, and I'm appreciative of the fact that people at home, like you watching this very episode right now, watch this episode. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to on YouTube, actually, not everywhere you listen to podcasts. My bad. Maybe one day. That would be cool. Also subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out newsletter, MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And of course, HockeyInsideOut.com is the place to be to watch full episodes.